Hey everybody. Daily check-in. Trying to be better about that. Had a pretty good day today. It wasn't an awful day at work. It went pretty fast. Afterward, we went to the grocery store and did our errands. Got home, cooked dinner, and I worked out. And I'm not great about working out, but I feel awful about my body. I don't like the way I look, or the way I feel. And that was one of the things I wanted to work on during this winter arc, and I'm not great about it. It's really hard to fit everything in over this whole winter arc experience. It's been so I really wanted to focus on just my outlook on things, which is getting better, but it's hard to fit in all the things that you're wanting to fit in. And so anyway, I worked out today and I feel really good about that. So I'm going to try really hard to be making that a priority for myself every day, because I just don't like the way I feel. And that's something I could do something about. So, yeah, I'm going to try really hard to continue to work on that. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And I also finally read that book I said I was going to read. And I started it, and then I got tired and went to bed, and I put it down, and that's just how I am. I am not great about reading things. I want to. Like, I like reading. I don't know what it is. It's sometimes hard to pick up a book, and I go through periods of time where I love to read, and then I go through periods of time where I just won't touch a book. So I'm trying to make that more consistent. So anyway, I told you guys I was going to read a book, and so I picked it up tonight, and I just read the whole thing. So like I said, it's really short. It's not big at all. It's a really simple read. It's nothing super brainy or anything that takes a lot of effort, right? So it's called 8 Steps to Inner Peace by L.F. Lowe. So I just grabbed it tonight, and I decided I was going to read it, and I read the whole thing. It is super fast. There's nothing, super in-depth about it, but it is poignant and makes a lot of good points about, how you should think about things, what your thought process should be, how you need to stop sometimes, and really think about what's the cause of the issue and not the issue itself. It is a religious book. All right. So it's talking about faith and prayer and, speaking to God, and not just thinking, and which I think is, you don't have to be religious for some of this to really be applicable, right? Like, just, if you think things, you're not enacting them. You're not being fruitful with the thought, right? So if it's a positive thought that they're like, I really want to do this, or I really want to think about this, or, put effort into this. Thinking it doesn't make it happen, right? We have to act. We have to do. So it's kind of like that, where it's thinking on the thing that's an issue isn't always the right thing to do. You need to speak out and cry out to God. But even just saying it, just verbalizing it, I think is huge. Just getting it out there and acting on it, right? Like, what's causing these issues, and how do I get to the root of that? And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I do tend to talk to myself sometimes. Like I said the other day when I was fixing the oven, I literally was kind of like, all right, you got this, because I was kind of in my head about it. And by verbalizing it, a positive affirmation, I knew I could do it, but there was just this mental block that was like, oh, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. And so anyway, yeah, so it is a good, quick little read. And I mean, very applicable steps of what you need to do. Because one thing I found very important, which, okay, so being married to an alcoholic, right? And even not an alcoholic, even just anybody, being in a relationship, if you know people in your life, right? I mean, this is really applicable to anybody. But how do you forgive somebody who doesn't say they're sorry? How do you do that? And it's something I've really struggled with for years, because we had issues in our marriage, right? And there was things that he probably didn't even realize, because, he was drinking, things he said or did or whatever. And he was never saying he was sorry for it. He probably didn't even remember he said it or did it or whatever. But it just compounds and compounds, and until I feel awful. I hate how I feel based on things that he said or did. So that was something I really struggled with for a really long time, is how do you let go? How do you forgive somebody who's not going to say they're sorry? And that's something that I think everybody needs to work on, because everybody's going to be hurt by somebody in this world. That is just life. And you can either just not be friends with them anymore or whatever, just sever ties, which fine, that's your prerogative if that's what you want to do. But does that really end the feelings that you have regarding whatever just happened? It probably doesn't. I mean, not for me. Maybe, I'm sure there are people out there that just, they're done and they move on. That's fine. They let go. I'm not one of those people. I hold on to it and I feel awful about it, and I just feel gross, and I don't like feeling like that. And then it just builds, and I can just continue to not feel good about it. So that was one thing it took a long time to learn, to figure out how to forgive somebody when they don't ask for forgiveness or even realize they've done anything wrong. And there's a part in this book that talks about that. And boy, I wish I would have read this years ago, because that would have been helpful. I really struggle with that. And it's not even about anger for me. Some people get angry. I just get hurt. Like I feel hurt. I feel wounded. And then that hurt compiles where I'm just like, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not, good looking enough. Just that self-doubt builds because of all of these things. And it doesn't even have to be something they said about the way I looked, but internally, all of a sudden, it's just one more thing that makes me even more unattractive and makes me feel even more down about myself. So anyway, it had a lot of good points, I think. So yeah, like I said, it's a little bit religious. I'm not gonna say a little bit. It's religious. It's a religious book. But that said, I think it has a lot of things that are just really great practice, things that everybody could do. How to recognize the issue, how to figure out the the root of why that's an issue for you. But anyway, so it was a good book, and I read it in not long, less than an hour. I mean, less than an hour. It was a very thin book. But I did take notes and stuff, so it took me a little bit more time. Anyway, so I went to the store today, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I want to read that book tonight, and I want to start doing the things I said I was going to do. And there's books that I have piled up that I've been meaning to go through. And some of them are like kind of a self-help book. Some of them are just books I want to read to enjoy. So I got something for myself because I wanted to get it for myself. But with the guise of, oh, maybe it'll make me more accountable. So now I have to make sure that it makes me more accountable. So we ran to Target. So I got this at Target. And it says, I'm booked all week, book lover's journal. And I thought it was a kind of a cute cover. So I thought it was just like a journal. But it's for reading books. And so it's got like a table of contents, so you can put the name of the book. It'll tell you what page it's on, which I'm like, that's phenomenal if you want to go back over it. And then it's got wish list, so you can compile a list of books you wish to read. And then it's got like, you know, just general questions. What did you think about the book? What were some quotes you liked? You know, and you can rate the book, and so you can go back through. And so I thought, okay, so that I'm going to use this as my tool to make sure that I'm doing my reading and continuing to read. And these were right next to it or close to it, and I love pens, and so it's a problem, you guys. But they have the cutest pens. I love pens, and they're a nice weight. Oh, I love them. And they write so nicely. They each say something kind of whatever. It says, in my reading era. Little twist pens. Oh, but they write so nicely. Just one more chapter. I am fully booked, and treat your shelf. Anyway, they're so nice. They write so nicely. I thought they were really cute. And then, I don't know why, I just thought this was adorable. Highlighters. I did highlight some stuff in that book. I don't know. It was so cute. So this little thing becomes a stand, and it also holds the highlighters in. I don't need highlighters, but you know. Anyway, I thought it was really cute, and it says, I read books, not minds. Anyway, I got all that at Target because I was like, oh, this will help me. That was just an excuse. This will help me do the things. It won't, but you know what? I'm gonna try, because I bought the things. I will try really hard to continue to read and write in my book about the different books that I'm reading. And so I'm going to try to be really good about that. I don't know what my next book is going to be. I literally have stacks of books. So I don't know. I don't know. I will figure that out and let you guys know what I'm going to start working on. So, or if you have suggestions, let me know, self-help or otherwise. And I'm gonna try to be better about my drawing. I want to work on my drawing because, you know, I'm not a great drawer, but I have these books. I just saw this guy, and I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Sachiko Umoto. I've collected these. There's a whole series of them, and I always thought, oh, I'm gonna just learn to like make little doodles. And I don't know, my parents were the best drawers. My dad would just sit there and just with a little lap desk and stacks of paper and just draw something, and it would be phenomenal. He would just draw a horse or Spider-Man or something, and he just always was drawing, and my mom was awesome at things like that too. And my sister, my middle sister, and then her daughter, oh my gosh, my niece is just phenomenal. I always felt like I just wasn't that good, and so I just never worked on it. And you know, I always tell my kids, you know, you got to practice, you got to be better. If you want to be better, you got to work on it. And my youngest used to do really well in art and drawing, and he always got hard on himself and thought he just wasn't good enough, and so he just quit. And so I'm gonna start practicing what I preach. And so yeah, so I'm gonna pull out all of my books, and I'm gonna start just doing a little doodle and try to work on being better and being more satisfied with my talent, and not my dad's and my mom's and my sisters and my nieces. And you know, I can't compare myself to them. I just need to work on myself, for myself, and yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I don't know, what are you doing? What are you working on? Are you trying to do too much like me? I'm trying to do way too much, and I'm not being successful, but I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm just gonna move on and work on it tomorrow and try to do all the things that I want to do. And I hope you will do the same thing. And if you didn't get to something, tomorrow's a new day. Do it tomorrow, and then go from there. But anyway, maybe I will show you some of my doodles. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, I don't know where you can find these books. I have no idea. I've had this one for so long, years, and I'm only just now going to start really doing anything with it. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you're working on, and I will talk to you guys later.